is a forced constitutional order, and it has thrown up a plutocratic political class who do not care about the welfare of the people.
It's not the question of a brand new constitution, it is attitudinal change of the people.
There are two sides to every story.
No, there are more than two sides.
Is it the new PDP or the old PDP?
No. If you look at what happened,
you can't
say your PDP went to court and they challenged
A community without a common ground will eventually become a battleground.
This is Pastor Chibo, phoning from local government, Enugu State.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Political voices, my CNN here. I love it, and I love it very much. My name is Tony from Enugu State. Political voices always keeping me busy, always making me happy as I'm on strike as a student.
Political voices, one story, many anthems.
Listen, I am telling you that when
I don't agree. I don't. No. You can't.
Politics. Where is good governance?
Everyone is a political animal.
I don't like politics.
But I love political voices.
On Political Voices, we talk politics in a country of diverse interests who gets what, when, and how. It's politics, and this is our business on Political Voices. Nigeria, a country of over 160 million people. Political Voices is gauging the temperature, setting the agenda. Political Voices exclusively on Dream FM.
Good morning and welcome. This is Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. It's a session of comments, interviews and analyses of current political trends as they affect and shape the world around you. Today is Monday. It is the 6th day of July 2020. My name is Alex Obodo. Today on Political Voices, our focus is on Buhari's agrarian revolution. But before we get into the discussion, there are a few matters arising from the political space. The Apex Igbo socio-cultural organization, Ohaneze Ndibo, has said it is working with other geopolitical zones for the realization of the Nigerian president of Igbo extraction in 2023. The National Publicity Secretary of the organization, Uche Achiomaga, said that this on Wednesday, of course, he was speaking about the desire of Ndibo for a president of Igbo extraction. He said the presidents of Nigeria, no doubt, is not what a particular tribe or geopolitical zone can aspire to get without reaching out to other zones. He went further to say that Ohaneze Ndibo worldwide, under the leadership of Chief Nyanwodo, has been able to bridge the supposed gap between the southeast and other geopolitical zones since 2017 when the present NEC was inaugurated. Moving ahead, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC in Edo State, has confirmed receipt of non-sensitive materials for the September 19th governorship election. INEC Public Affairs Officer for Edo State, Mrs. Tina Abomogie, said this on Sunday in Benin City. She revealed that the materials had been distributed to the 18 local government areas ahead of the election. She also disclosed that the Commission would use the 2019 voters register for the election, which has 2,210,334 registered voters, adding that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there will be no distribution of unclaimed permanent voter cards. No fewer than 14 political parties will be participating in the election. Remember that we are streaming live on 3 platforms on this program. First, you can watch this program live on our YouTube channel at Dream TV Enugu. Use the hashtags Political Voices. You can catch it early. Of course, you can also just type Dream TV Enugu. You will see the live videos of this particular program. And on Facebook, our Facebook page is 925 Dream FM. And on Twitter, it is Dream 925 FM. Stay with us. Various programs in agriculture which has come since Nigeria's independence. It is not something that is unheralded. We had, of course, the National Accelerated Food Program. As early as 1972, we also had the Go Back to Land program. There was Operation Feed the Nation. We also had the Green Revolution. There are various other agricultural programs. Even River Basin Development Authorities sprang up also in the 70s. You also had the DIFRI coming up too, Directorate for Food, Road and Rural Infrastructure. There was also the National Fadama Development Project. There are various projects on food. In fact, more recently we've heard about the Agricultural Transformation Agenda. That was between 2011 and 2015. And fast forward from 2015 till now, we want to take a look at what has happened in the agricultural sector in Nigeria. And joining us on the program this morning is Mr. Osita Okechukwu. He is the Director General, Voice of Nigeria. Good morning to you, sir, and welcome to Political Voices. All right. Okay, first of all, ask you, what is your greatest fascination with President Buhari's agricultural program?
A while one dubbed it Buhari Agrarian Revolution is that post-1970, there is no head of state or president that had committed resources, materials, and had gone out of his way to prioritize agriculture like President Muhammadu Buhari had done. He had both the budget platform and also the fact that he said, CBN, Nigerians must produce what we eat. Because he does not believe on ethical methods of controlling the population of the country, he said, since we are one of the most populous countries of the world, and among the 10 most populous countries of the world, we are about 2 or 3 that had youth advantage, what they call the median youth advantage, where over 60% of the population are youths. He said in the midst of these youths, he had looked around over the years. There is no way the local, the state, or federal government of Nigeria will employ all these youths. That the best you could do is to invest in agriculture. He had even gone to the extent of trying to negotiate a $1.2 billion importation of tractors and other mechanized tools to advance or migrate the subsistence farmers to commercial mechanized agriculture farmers. And he said he's also encouraging the big farmers, he's encouraging the medium farmers, he's encouraging the agro-processing plants so that whatever is produced is also processed. Today, a lot of gains have been made. We know what it meant that before the COVID, the borders were closed. And we can say rightly today that about 80% of one of the staple foods of Nigerians, which is rice, is being produced locally. Not only produced locally, but also milled and standardized. If you know about Kochari's rice, I do not know which other production in the world it could not be compete with. The lake the lake rice that is produced in KB and other parts of the country, they can compete favorably with anything. So part of the objective of my coming here today is that we've looked into the investment profile President Muhammadu Buhari had done across the geopolitical zones. We've looked at the Northwest investment, we've looked at the Northeast investment, we've looked at the North Central, the Southwest, South-South. The Southeast is the smallest. And we asked ourselves, why is it the smallest? We've talked to some governors of the Southeast. We've talked to the stakeholders. We'll come to discover that most of our people here have not shown much interest, especially one of the vital people's program in the program is called the Anko-Borrowers program. The Anko-Borrowers program was launched in November 2015, but up to date, some states in the Southeast had not keyed in. The Anko-Borrowers program is anchored on a platform
where the farmers collectively are expected to have a minimum of a hectare of land. If it is collectively owned in a place, the government will clear the land for them. They will supply high-yielding either tubers or crops, and they will also send extension workers who will also teach the farmers how best to go about the planting process. They will also send fertilizers at a cheaper rate, and they will also even send herbicides to help to contain the weeds. And they also create what they call the off-takers, where the agro-processing companies will come and harvest with the farmers. And at the end of the day, the farmers are registered with their names, with their telephone numbers, with their BVN numbers. So the idea is that in the next 5 years or thereabouts, the federal government of Nigeria will grow a cadre of farmers who will be self-reliant and expand themselves. And within those 5 years, the federal government will, on a gradual run, will draw its own investment, and the farmers will be self-sufficient and advance. On the commercial side, it contains both fisheries, livestock, forestry, and palm plantation. And in the palm plantation we're talking about, it is very interesting to our own people, because this is a palm plantation region. And the palm we're talking about is short dwarfed palms. You do not need to climb up. And it has a gestation period of about 3 years, in which you start harvesting the palm fruits. And the palm fruits, any group that identifies with the program and they have a large number, there will be a processing plant. That processing plant is to enable the farmers not to be belabored in how to process the palm fruits. Same is in cassava. There will be cassava starch plants. But unfortunately, most of our people are not queuing in. And we are saying the Ancoporas program is the only program that is community-based. The community will own the farms, the farmers will own the farms, and they will own the proceeds. And they are not required to raise any collateral. The collateral is the land, the collateral is the crops. And we are saying it is high time we join this agrarian revolution, because in any instance, it takes a good nose to sniff what is good in any regime. And I think this is one of the good things that is coming out of the Buhari regime, that is using our own money to empower our own people and getting people back to land. Yes, you talked about D-Free, you talked about Green Revolution. Yes, there were those programs. And even the National Development Plan of the 60s, it was on record that in the 60s, about 90% of the revenue generated in a region like the Eastern region was on agriculture. The same with Western region, the same with Northern region. And then the oil was at less than 3% contribution. But today, it had crossed that line to over 70 to 80%. But be that as dismay, history and technology had also shown that over-reliance on oil will not pay a country like Nigeria good. And that one of the basics is that we must return back to agriculture, where the 70% of the population are engaged in already. This 70%, the agrarian revolution is meant to improve on what they are doing, meant to migrate them from subsistence farmers to mechanized commercial farmers.
All right. Well, just one worry in this part of the country, there seems to be that disconnect between those who say they are real farmers and programs like the anchor borrowers. Some of them claim that some people are hijacking these activities or operations right from the top and are distributing them among their family members and associates. How would you respond to these allegations? Because because we featured some agric experts here, and that allegation cropped up that World Bank loans came up and it ended up in the hands of the wrong people. Well, how do we make sure that this sort of things don't happen so that real farmers can benefit?
And nobody, I'm not down to what you said. I have visited a lot of communities in Enugu State. Yesterday I was in Abakumense. I also do visit those farming, especially the areas where we have fertile land to start with, who are not kidding. The fears you've raised have been addressed. That's why the Ankoboras program says the community had to point out a given place or plot of lands, 1,000 hectares, 2,000, less than that, and the farmers, to avoid that, the CBN maintains that the name of the farmer must be in their database. The telephone number of the farmer must be in their database. The BVN number of the farmer must be in their database. And if the farmer had no BVN number, the bank, the commercial bank that will be in charge of the given community will register those farmers and give them BVN numbers, because yes, there are stipends. Most of the investments in the Ankoboras program are not in cash, but the little cash that will come, they want to make sure that the cash goes straight to the farmers. And the fertilizer that will come, they want to also, either by phone call or by whichever means, to call the farmers one by one without even anybody knowing they will call you, and they may not call on the same day. They will say, you are Mr Osita Okechukwu'DG. I said yes. I said, are you a farmer in Eke? If I say no, they will know there's fraud. But if I said yes, they say, what are you cultivating at Eke you down? I said, I'm cultivating cassava. They say, how many hectares? I will say 1 hectare or 2. So they now have what they call a data mapping, what they call a mapping, where they will know the location of the farm within their database. Don't forget that technology is at play, not only in the mechanization of the Ankoboras program, but also to curb the excesses of the past, where Mr Osita Okechukwu'DG is sitting in a hotel room, compile 1,000 names and call them farmers. It's not going to happen. Don't forget as well that they have extension supervisors. If they bring the high yield cassava seeds, plants, they also tell you the distance. So they need to see the farmers, to tell the farmers, look, you don't plant the whole sticks in one place. It has to be 1 meter apart, or so size or length. So in doing so, it becomes very easy that with their BVN, they are very well captured. Because what do we call the off-takers? The off-takers are those who buy up the crops. When the crops are bought up, they are paid through the BVN to those farmers. They don't need to come there with cash. So at the end of the day, if there is any muddling up or any fraud in terms of the composition of the given community, it will be easily identified. So such fears, yes, we are taking into account. And that's why we said it's community-based. The communities in their database, they will know where it is. There's what they call the GPS. The GPS locates where it is, and they will even monitor how the farming is going. That is also part of it, because the GPS has the video aspect of it that shows whether the farmers are attending to their crops, because the government doesn't want to waste money. A hectare, the average budget for a hectare is about 244,000, but it's not going to be given to the farmers cash. It comes as inputs and also a little stipend, and that stipend they want to do allocation. So the issue of fraud or trying to call your children or your relatives, what we're actually encouraging is that you mustn't be a farmer before to join the program. You can be a new farmer and you will progress.
All right then. There's another issue just before we go to the phone lines, the issue of food processing. Because I've listened to everything you've said, and it does appear that we seem to be more interested in just to produce the food. But do we also pay attention to how maybe we'll store the food and process it? Like, using the instance of tomatoes, for instance, we have a situation where food processing may not have been considered as an important part of the value chain in agriculture. What is this administration doing in making sure that with all these investments in agriculture, that we don't waste the food we produce within one calendar year?
And that's why I told you, there are already big agro-processing companies like Ola Farms. There are plenty of them. But outside that, the federal government had gone out of its way to make an importation of $1.2 billion. Both tractors, both processing plants, because nobody wants to lose anything. And we've gotten good notes from various countries of the world, like China, like Saudi Arabia, like Qatar and others, that if you produce a so-so grade of the products, the food products, we're ready to buy from you. Even in America, the AGOA Act is an act that allows agro-processing products to come to America, but it has to have a standard. So that standard is also being looked at. So the issue of agro-processing is an ingredient of the value chain of the Agro-Borers program.
All right, and this is Political Voices on 92.5 Enugu's Dream FM. Our focus this morning is on President Buhari's agrarian revolution. And in the studio with us this morning is Mr Osita Okechukwu'DG, the Director General of Voice of Nigeria. We'll take early phone calls and check out a few messages on Facebook and Twitter. We have this one on Facebook, 925 Dream FM. Andrew Ajago from Uke, Ibuetiti, Enugu State. He said President Buhari's agrarian investments is a laudable one, but the problem still remains that farmers in the rural areas are not reached. Also, the committee in charge of seeing to the distribution of these farming aids diverted, traded, and use it to enrich themselves because of lack of checks. Please, sir, what can you say about that? Maybe you have answered that, but then, okay, you can still respond to that.
In an effort to avoid such misnomer, we register what we call the Wawa Farmers Association. It's number 1 Bisala Road or Independence Avenue, the office. We registered it, corporately registered, that anybody who is registered under the Wawa Farmers Association is free to access what's going on. Because as I said, the mechanisms to stop leakages and plug any malfeasance or any corrupt practices had also been identified, and it's been plugged. The federal government of Nigeria do not need to waste money, and they do not need to lose any kobo. For that sake, they are dealing directly. The canopy we're operating in Enugu State is the Wawa Farmers Association.
Okay.
And the Wawa Farmers Association as a canopy is to help the communities to ease out. We do not need the communities to run to Abuja to come back. So the Wawa Farmers Association leadership will do that for this. But the CBN, we did directly with the farmers, both in the transaction or the farming process or the chains, and even the harvesting. They will not contact the Wawa Farmers Association in doing any of those things. They are dealing the farmer is the key, the chessboard of this process.
All right, let's take some more messages before we get to the phone lines. Omagan Namani, watching live from Amagons in Enugu State, says, good morning to the discussant in the studio. Government should kindly ensure even distribution of improved seedlings, fertilizers and loan with low or no interest to the appropriate farmers at the rightful time to enable Nigerians to mount hunger, which is likely the aftermath of COVID-19. Ambassador Martins Juno Sungwede from Ebonyi, he says Buhari is doing massively well in agrarian revolution. I and all Farmers Association of Nigeria were recently inaugurated in Ebonyi, and he was elected as their leader. Congratulations to you. Okoro Emmanuel says, good morning, gentlemen in the studio. Buhari's agrarian revolution to me is a mileage. It has been 5 good years, and Nigeria cannot have a constant supply of onion. It comes periodically. This and a great deal of other things he said. And then God's will, Ihe Abula, says we have over 167 hectares of land in Ede, in Ibue as a North local government area. and it was a North local government abandoned by Enugu state government since 1994. That land, if properly used, can create over 2 million jobs for youths, and also can feed the entire eastern region. He says he's appealing to the Director General of VON, which I believe is from Enugu State, to attract President Buhari's attention to open that site as agrarian projects in the hill of eastern Nigeria. And Anthony Ivo says, good morning to everyone in the studio. This revolution is good only if it will not be politicized. A great deal of other things. We'll get to the phone lines very quickly. 0809-8888-925 or 0902-0020-925. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, we can barely hear you. You can just call us back if you can. All right, okay. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Hello.
What's the name and location?
My name is Joseph Bonner. I'm calling from Obama. Why is in a canopy?
You're welcome.
I have many acres of land, and I want to enter into farming, but I don't have money to do it. Please, I want you to direct me. I want to do it, and I have to get the help.
All right, then. You just listen off your radio. You will get what to do. Call us on 0902-0020-925 or 0809-8888-925. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
What's the name and location?
Hello, good morning. I'm Linus from Enugu.
You're welcome, Linus.
Dr. Okechukwu'DG, morning, sir.
He's not a doctor, he's a mister. I didn't pass the exam to be a doctor. I failed my exam.
Alex, straight to the point, Alex, if you come to it, you have Fadema tractors that have been there for more than 15 years, unattended to. The problem of agriculture in Nigeria is unstable leadership. If Mr. Alex come today, Mr. Alex will come to change that program tomorrow. We are not stable on ground for leadership. How can we be successful? I used to call you. If you come to the farm, yes, you wait for yourself. The government project is abandoned, the tractors are there, working, and somebody telling you want to go and get millions of loans for tractors. It's very, very disappointing, Alex. The problem is unstability and people should sit up.
All right, Linus, you've raised this issue. I'm sure Mr. Okechukwu has taken note of it. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, then. There are a few other calls we can take. 0902-0020-925 and 0809-8888-925. We are talking about the President Buhari's agrarian revolution with Mr. Osita Okechukwu as our guest. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, we'll take some more calls much later on the program, but I need to take one or two issues raised here with Mr. Okechukwu. Linus from Ete talked about abandoned Fadama infrastructure in his community. He says, if I come there, I will weep. And he went on to lament about it. I mean, if there are tractors rotting away in Ete, what then? What is causing the disconnect? Perhaps if a government took over maybe in 1999 or 2015, isn't there a way there should be a connection between a previous policy and the policy of the government that is in power?
Let me say collectively that in order to bridge those disconnects, that's why we established the Wild Farmers Association. And if they don't mind, I will give the number of the secretary.
Please go ahead.
080-3326-4828. 080-3326-4828. Barrister Gordon Owushi. We did so because we are narrowing on the anchor borrowers aspect of the project. Because we know the commercial big farmers will find their way to process their papers. But we're talking of community-based, people's ownership of their own farm in their own community. And we established the Wild Farmers Association. if he links up with us, before then, the federal government of Nigeria want as much, because part of the objective is employment, for God's sake. One is employment, one is self-sufficiency in food production. Thirdly, diversification of our economy so that we can say goodbye to oil, over-reliance on oil. So if he links up with the One Farmers Association, before then, please help us to call both your enemies, your friends, the Igwes, the town union, to compile names. If you compile the names of farmers, their names, their phone numbers, their BVN numbers. If they do not have BVN, if you have sufficient number of farmers, when the bank that will be assigned to oversee what is going on there comes, they will give them the BVN. It becomes better for the government, because if you want to pull a tractor, for instance, if there are two farmers, because the day you rent a tractor, you start paying, whether it goes to work or not. So this is what we are trying to do. Why it's called a revolution is I want to mobilize as much hands as possible to benefit from this program. So what any of my callers and brothers, what they are doing, I'm happy about that. But it will be better for me and for us if they continue by trying to involve their community. Both there, because there's the people they call Abowewo case. Let them call the Abowewo case so that he will be there when this will be conceived. Let nobody say he wasn't there. There's no group that do not have a town union. When the town union can call an emergency meeting, that there's a program called a Koboras program, and they want to participate in it. And the larger the number, the better. Because if you have 4 processing plants in Enugu, you won't take it to a position where the farmers are very tiny. The natural thing is to go for where the farmers are. I know about that. Even the other rice. What the federal government, what President Muhammadu Buhari had done in the past 2 years, is to revive the irrigation process in other rice. It will be completed by this July. Opened for it will irrigate over 28 hectares of land. It includes both roads, both culverts that will help the communities and the access, so that you won't miss anything you're producing. So the federal government is up on that. So what I'm saying is that as regards the Anchor Borrowers program, it is community based.
Okay.
Anybody that comes single-handedly becomes a commercial farmer. Okay. We could still help him in the processing of his papers, but we are more focused on getting our people as much as we can.
Okay, then.
To be part of the program.
Let's take some more calls. 0902-0020925 or 0809-8888-925. Hello, good morning. All right, so call us on 0809-8888-925 or 0902-0020-925. A few messages we have on Facebook that I believe we have been attended to. Okay, the Christian Amalo says, good morning, sir. Your comments are all right, but you have not considered herdsmen, menace, and insecurity in the hinterland these days. And this is where that comes, the security of the farms. He's saying that it's not just about having all the input. What about the security of those that are farming and the security of the crops?
No, it's a German question. And the truth of the matter is that Mr. President, like most of us, are highly worried about the herdsmen-farmers clashes. Banditry, whatever it's called. Because there's no spot in Nigeria that's not endangered security-wise. But what the federal government had factored to do the next year, outside the COVID they could have started, is that they have mapped a program to establish what they call ranches. Not Ruga this time. They have changed the name. The ranches are to collect the cattle and the herdsmen pack to concerned areas so that the crops, because without the crops, we all go hungry. And they say a hungry man is an angry man. So Mr. President will be the last person to see Nigerians very hungry. So the herdsmen clashes is being taken, I won't talk about the security side because there are certain things I will not say about security. But they were also aware, initially, it was thought as if Mr. President is not interested because it's not happening in his own domain. But today, even Katsina State is in danger. Zamfara, all those areas. So across the board, there's one insecurity or the other. And the federal government of Nigeria is not looking the other way. In as much as we might, I cannot come here because some security issues I know that the equipment that is being deployed is not something I could open up here because it doesn't help the security armed forces. So the truth of the matter is a big concern. The question raised is germane and very important. Anybody that says it's not important, then it means the person doesn't know what we're saying. The solution is being sought.
All right, and there's just a few questions I would like to take you up on. It's slightly away from agric. There's a saying in this part of the world, because you don't know the next time you climb. There's this sentiment in the southeastern part of Nigeria that the government hasn't done enough for the zone. What's your take on that?
And that's part of why I'm here. The job I'm doing, I'm also in radio like you, but since I do not have any cash to distribute, so what I decided on my own with my friends and colleagues is that whatever we see that is good, that will come to this part of the country. For instance, about 2 years ago, luckily for me, the man that started the Enugu water scheme under the PTF, Engineer Suleiman Adamu, he was heading the water scheme under PTF and designed, with our little help and persuasion, they located the Oji River water scheme. He immediately was appointed the Minister of Water Resources. I told him that the Oji River water scheme did not meet his own expectation. He said yes, they were aware he wouldn't, because they nominated Strabag, and the then President Obasanjo refused and nominated a Chinese group that did not know the concept. It was a program they designed with the Strabag, but Strabag did not get it. What did he do this time around? I told him, I said, Suleiman, don't forget your baby. The federal government borrowed $50 million each for 6 urban water schemes in 6 geopolitical zones. Luckily, he called me, Mr Osita, I've nominated Enugu State. And I even came with him to meet the governor of Enugu State, who also cooperated. Luckily, in my last count last week, Governor Uguay had paid the 150 million counterpart funding, which means now we're ready to go. So the Enugu water scheme will soon commence. What are we doing? The little we are doing. The other rights I told you, irrigation project, runs into billions. But we are not making noise about that. Anybody that agrees or leaves it, if you were here, between here and Onitsha, and the Parakot, yes, we'll boast of doing more with little. Whether we've completed 100%, we've not. But the actual fact is that much is being done that is not being a good. As I said, some states of the Federation have benefited over 10 billion in the Akobras program. But you cannot benefit if you did not register. Ebonyi State has benefited over 3 billion already. I do not know whether Enugu State has benefited $1 billion. Because Charism and others that took the Anambra own by themselves, in the Paris-Passon cooperation with the CBN of Nigeria, they only is running to billions. The Chipat, Chidolu and others, those are big farmers. Nobody's mentioning that. It's not the money they are using is also the federal government money. They go into counterpart funding because they are the big commercial farmers. But the Anko Brass is the one who are emphasizing that if you say you do not get enough from the palace, please stay around with your plate and know where to put your plate. So that you don't run away empty-handed in the palace. Because what kills us most of the time is lamentation. We told them, we said, look, when you do not know what the federal government is doing, There's no government on earth that do not have two sides of the coin, as your promo said. There's the downside of the federal government, which I also acknowledge. In as much as I'm part of the federal government, I acknowledge those downsides. But there's the upside. But our people are trying to declare themselves. Can I tell you one story? In 2017, we went to one community in Oglogolo, brought a cassava starch company that was to invest 12 billion naira. We finished with the community on the first round. On the December of 2017, we held a big meeting with the community. They said, no, everybody's not back yet. Because we told them, call all the Abawo case, those who say they were not there. They said, yes, that is a general meeting in Easter. Do you know when we came to the meeting? 1,000 hectares, 12 billion investment that will get both a processing plant and cultivate the cassava and buy even cassava from other subsistence farmers around the corner. A group came to the meeting in Oglogolo. I said, hey, your people are going to bring a Fulani people here. I said, your people have signed an agreement with us. Cassava. One fact is that Osita Okechukwu'DG, no matter how deceptive or how smart I am, I cannot take the land at my back and walk away from Oglogolo. If we do not bring cassava and the machineries for cassava, you now raise your outcry. Ah, they said, no, we don't believe in that. This is 2018 Easter. You know how far we could go? The CPN was giving the patching grant for that 12 billion investment in Oglogolo. I do not need to tell you the rest. We will soon come to that because we've told luckily the rice farm, the rice association had nominated a lady from Newe to be the coordinator in Enugu. And I told the president, please give the lady every cooperation because between the Newe and Aniri, okay, is one of their rice belts, all right, plus Adani. So if the people in Adani and environment are able to queue into the rice program, and the people from Aniri and get registered, okay, we'll make sure they benefit from the program.
We'll come back to the story because we'll have someone on the line. Comrade Fideli said that he is a farmer. I'm sure he has one or two things to either ask you or contribute on the program. Good morning to you, Comrade Ede.
Yeah, good morning, Alex. It's a privilege to be connected and to have the opportunity of talking to us. I want to welcome him. Thank God he is talking about agriculture. Three or two questions. Yes, the Wawa Farmers Association. How did it come about? Then the second one, this idea of each time we want to do something, we want to start afresh.
he's a former Labour leader and a farmer in a worker community. He raised one question he asked, which I will quickly also ask you. I'm not sure you heard him clearly. He talked about how the Wawa Farmers Association came about.
Let me tell Comrade Eddie, I know Eddie very well. The point of the matter is that we're not saying we're inventing the wheels. We're not trying to break any new ceiling. What we're saying is that there are plethora of programs on agriculture. But the one we are paying attention to is the one that does not require the power of our people to look for collateral. That one is the Anko Borrowers program, has been managed by Central Bank of Nigeria, and it was founded in November 17th, 2015, 5 years down the line of President Muhammad Buhari's regime. So we're not trying to, the Anko Borrowers program is not competing with the Ministry of Agriculture. It's not competing with the FADAMA. But what I will tell Ede is this. Ede is a commercial farmer. For him, he has a role to play, a very key role to play. But we are talking of those subsistence farmers who, because they are not accessing modern implements, will remain within 2 or 3 ridges. That today they can own a hectare because the government has decided. In fact, the National Land Clearing Agency is headed by one Ikone from Abia. Mr. President just appointed him some few months ago. So the land clearing will be done for this farmer. Because if you are using your hoe, sweating, you cannot achieve as much as a collective ownership of the community. And the tractor has a long range to go. It goes a long range, it justifies the leasing or the maintenance of the tractor. But if it's only Osita Okechukwu's farm and it is very narrow ridges, the tractor will not come there. So we decided in the Wawa Farmers Association, we registered it. How did we come to register it? About the 2016 or thereabouts, we met Governor Ugwai, who graciously cooperated with us, nominated the Commissioner for Agriculture, one Mr. Ede. Along the line, when the CBN officials come, we will see the Mr. Ede. There was a time they came, I told them, please go to Eboy and come back. I said, where did you go? He said he went for a burial. I said, but you are where these people were coming. Please come to Abuja, you can hop in from my office. The governor said, Ede, you can even go and live in Abuja with Osita and interface. Would they see the Ede again? So when would you see much from that angle? The CBN said, please, register an association. What the government is doing, collect those who are interested as well, give it a push. Because the CBN governor told us that he's from Delta here, he's studying the Enugu campus. Won't be shameful that his agency is investing billions in certain areas and there's none in this part of the world. The man was worried. He said, Osita, look, when I come out now, people will start castigating me that I did not remember our people. Why don't you go back to mobilize your people to participate in what is going on? The government is doing its own side, but we need to register this one to be able to get an addition or complement to whatever the government is doing. But that commissioner, even Ugwai had accepted, the commissioner was a big flop.
All right, then.
Okay, gone far.
Just quickly, we're just on the home stretch here, Mr. Osita Okechukwu. Talk to us about your thoughts about the 2023 Southeast presidential call. Do you think it is time?
I'm a proponent of Fadibo, a Nigerian president of Igbo extraction in 2023. A very strong proponent. Proponent in the sense that locally, for some of us who are semi-illiterate, who do not have foresight, we rely on hindsight. The hindsight is that in 1999, the political elite, especially of the northern extraction, in the best intention, the patriotic intention for the country, said, let's start zoning. and they narrowed it to the southwest. Even the late icon, former Vice President Dr. Alex Ekweme, that was one of the founders of the PDP, was stopped in Jos because they wanted to start from a zone. Obonyo, the Minister of Science and Tech, was the first announcement made in Kaduna, where the APP was holding their own convention. But it was stopped. They said, let's start from one zone. The late Olusegun Saraki was to bid for APP presidential tickets. He was also persuaded, please, let's start from one zone. The late Abaka Rimi, Shikafi, and others were persuaded, please, let's start from one for unity and national loyalty. And we started with what we call the Falaye or passenger model, where the APP AD tickets presented Olufalaye, Chief Olufalaye, and the PDP presented Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. And we are saying that given the fact that after Obasanjo, the thing went north, why was Peter Odili, who could have won the ticket in 2007 of the PDP, why was he stopped? Because they said there's a rotation. A rotation is not a law, it's a convention. And convention in public domain prevails because it has some moral fiber that guarantees unity of any country. So we said that being the case, when Jonathan lost in 2015, part of why he lost was that the North said, look, you know, we lost Yaradua Wutindin Tavu. You've done 5 years to go into 6. Please, we don't need to give you another 4 years. And even people who have voted along that line, and Jonathan graciously considered the victory. Now we are saying, in 2023, the North must have finished its own quota. And if it's coming to the South, which is the position, that in the southern belt, the 3 geopolitical zones, Southwest had their turn, South had their turn. It's only the Southeast that had not had its turn. Who said if you go by equity, natural justice, and good conscience, it is a turn of the Southeast. And we are pleading, because it's an appeal business. Appeal business in the sense that the 2 leading political parties, I told those leaders, Igbo leaders in PDP, Igbo leaders in APC, to try from the one to start persuading their leadership that is the turn of the Igbo, going by equity, good conscience, and natural justice. And also, for me, that would be the end of the Civil War. A Nigerian president of Igbo extraction will end the agitation. You won't hear anything about that pop or all these other mutations. Why? It has happened in other countries of the world, where you level agitation and grievance by saying, please, govern us this time, preside over Nigeria, because we are not going to lose anything. It will be a win-win scenario for the whole country.
Just very quickly, one is also worrying with the crisis in the APC. Are we still going there?
Crisis in APC?
Yeah, the leadership crisis in the APC.
We have resolved it.
Okay.
We had a I don't want to go into that.
All right. Okay then. I have to thank you so much, Mr Osita Okechukwu'DG, the Director General of Voice of Nigeria. Thank you for your insight on the program this morning.
Thanks a million. I appreciate the audience.
Special thanks to my production assistant, Lotana Okereke, and to the birthday man, Okechukwu Okechukwu'DG. Thank you so much. Happy birthday to you. And of course, my name is Alex Obodo. The Dream FM News at 10 comes up next. Good morning.
Thanks a million.
See, when you know where you went to make money, and the diet of Wahala. If you ever be fish farmer and you want to be the secret code to make money without Wahala,